I'm going to be describing how chords work in NoteWeaver. If you want chords applied to played notes, they're selected by number in your keyboard or guitar instrument chords table. So right here. Okay, and if we click all, you can see that I'm changing all these chords at the same time, and the chords are shown up here. The relative position of each played chord note cycles through the current scale notes. Scales are down here, applied to the current layer of the chord. Each layer has its own scale. Beginning with the current layer, the output voices that sound for each successive chord note cycle through the 8 layers of output channels, hence voices. So these different layers of output channels. However, if the chord is greater or equal to 155, beginning with the current output channel, the chord notes are sent to successive layer output channels, then continue sequentially from the last output channel value, so even more vast orchestral sounds can be generated if you have the synths to support this. So suppose you had 32, 2 different synthesizers with 16 voices each. You could cycle one chord through all of those voices. If you're using a single synth with one voice, simply set all layers of the output channels the same. And you can do this like this. Click same and fill next layers, click channels, and then they all end up being the same. If you're playing chromatically and want to harmonize other layers, you can either choose chords containing harmonizing notes, apply judiciously along your instrument, or apply layers of scales with harmonized values for your played notes without using chords. There's 8 layers here. You can have a different scale on each layer. In either case, column table editing can support this process. It's very easy to take each note of each octave and shift it, either in the offsets window here, if you're using a chromatic scale, or in your scale itself. Right here, you can click column and skew like that, and increase or decrease the relative values of all those notes per octave to create harmonizing. Also, you may find transposing various layers helps. So each layer has its own transposition value that can be positive or negative. The chords themselves are built from within the chords window. And let's go up here somewhere. In order to build a chord, simply go like that, and you can hit back, and you can create chords any way you want. And suppose there's a chord, if there's a chord that you selected that looks like that, you can just take that chord and hit back to modify it or add. And the original, everything plays relative to the original note. So that chord will sound the same as this chord. And we can play chords, and you can change the voice like that. You can play with the different note that gets sounded, and within that particular channel, this one right here, you can also change the individual voice within that. And if you look up here, it says caution plays through scale selected above. Since all the notes play through the scale for the particular layer, here if we look at scales and change this into some other scale, then by going back here, it'll play a completely different chord. So you can go clear, and back. So that needs to be kept in mind. So that's basically how chords work. So thank you very much, NoteWeaver.com, and I hope that helps. See you.